All right, I just want to finish the last few problems on this as we practice for the retest that we're going to take. So on number 23, it says if you have 3 test grades, 84, 87, and 94, what will you have to make on your next test to have an overall test average of 90? Okay, I know that you guys know how to average. If I just gave you 4 grades, I know you'd add them all up and divide by 4. So here's what we're looking at. If I add up all my test grades, the 84, okay, the 84 and the 87 and the 94, and this says that what will you have to make on your next test? So we don't know what the next test is. Let's call it X. All right, if we add up all those test grades and divide by 4, that's going to give me my average. And this says we want the average to be 90. So that has to equal 90. So there's the equation. And on a test or quiz or anything like that, this is going to be the first thing I'm going to look for. Do you have an equation? That's half the credit. Okay, now let's solve that equation. So in order to solve, my suggestion is why don't we first of all get rid of the 4 in the denominator, so we'll multiply by 4. So that means on the right side, 4 times 90 is going to be 360. And so on the left side, I still have the 84 plus 87 plus 94 plus X. That's supposed to equal 360. And so why don't we go ahead and do the addition on the left side. If I add up, and this is calculator, if I add up the 84 plus 87 plus 94, that's going to give me 265. So this part right here is 265 plus X equals 360. So if I want to solve for X, I'm just going to subtract. So if I subtract 260, that's going to be 95. That means on that 4th test, I would have to make a 95 in order for my overall average to be a 90. Okay, so look at number 24. 16-foot piece of lumber, so the whole thing is 16, is cut into 2 pieces. So let's say I cut it right here. The longer piece is 1.5 feet more than twice the smaller piece. All right, I'm going to call this the smaller piece. We'll call that X. And I know the longer piece, so I'm just reading this, is 1.5 more than twice the smaller, So the longer is 1.5 plus 2x. And remember what we said, the whole thing altogether is 16. So if I take the small piece plus the long piece, which is 1.5 plus 2x, and add them together, it should equal 16. So I've got 3x plus 1.5 equals 16. Subtract 1.5, so 3x equals 14.5, and divide by 3. So again, on my calculator, I'm going to say 14.5 divided by 3 is going to be 4.833. And so that means the smaller piece is 4.833 feet. The question says find the length of each piece. So the longer piece is going to be, remember the longer piece right here, look over at my picture, is 1.5 plus 2 times that. So if I take that 4.833 number and if I multiply by 2 and then add the 1.5, the longer piece is 11.166. So I'll say here long piece is 11.166 feet. Okay, and then number 25 says, using the information from number 21, and what we meant was from number 24, find the measure of each piece in inches. Well, the numbers that we have up on number 24 are feet. So the short was 4.833 feet. And the long was 11.166 feet. But now we want to convert that to how many inches, right? We want to convert that to how many inches. Well, how many inches are in a foot? Aren't there 12 inches in a foot? So basically, if I just take that number and multiply by 12, So if I take the 11.166 times 12, I'm going to get 133.992 inches. And if I take the 4.833 and multiply by 12, I'm going to get 57.996 inches. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you with those last few problems from that Form A of the test.